I know that your new business plan has been broadened to accommodate the eradication goal. I know that you are casting the R&D net wider to include a quest for new compounds that can help interrupt transmission. Again, a strong sense of purpose and solid achievements mean that ambitions can be set even higher. But let me point to you 3 situations in which forces with a global sweep placed against the reality of conditions in countries have created some tensions and special challenges for public health. First, one of the consequences of living in a closely interdependent and interconnected world is the fact that more and more crises have a global impact. A mistake made in one country or in one policy sphere rapidly spreads throughout the international systems that tie us all together. Mistakes are contagious, but the consequences are not evenly felt. Developing countries have the greatest vulnerability and the least resilience. They are hit the hardest and take the longest to recover. Despite all the promises, globalization has not turned out to be the tide, the rising tide that lifts all boats. They lifted the big ones and left the smaller ones to their fate. Differences within and between countries, in income levels, in opportunities, and in health outcomes are greater today than at any time in recent history. And this is a bitter irony. In the midst of the most ambitious drive in history to reduce poverty and reduce the great gaps in health outcomes through the MDGs. This makes work to combat the disease of poverty all the more urgent. And this makes every bit of progress all the more important. Healthier people mean that they have greater resilience when the next global crisis inevitably strikes. Second, the need to strengthen health systems is more widely appreciated than it was a decade ago. Ironically, this need became highly visible as progress towards the health-related MDGs stalled. Simply stated, powerful interventions and the money to buy them will not produce better health outcomes in the absence of a well-functioning health system for access and delivery. At the same time, the Millennium Development Goals are a result-based, time-limited agenda. Donors are impatient and want tangible results. And yet, the strengthening of fundamental capacities in countries take time and is difficult to measure. This is another dilemma that we must face. The third area I want to mention is perhaps the most challenging. Increasingly, public health is on the receiving end of bad or short-sighted policies made in other sectors. Public health had no say in the policies that created the financial crisis or made climate change inevitable. But public health bears the brunt of the consequences. Time and time again, health is a peripheral issue when the policies that shape this world are set. When health policies clash with the prospect of economic gain, economic interests trump health outcomes time and time again. Time and time again, health bears the brunt of short-sighted and narrowly focused policies made in other sectors. Money makes the world go round, and this will never change. And this is absolute certainty. But there are some smart ways to deal with this reality. For its part, WHO and its member states has just completed some years of negotiation to work out an international consensus on the issues of public health, innovation, and intellectual property. With the adoption dismay, by consensus, of a resolution on this matter, we have broken new ground. Ways can indeed be found to make the process of drug discovery and development both needs-driven as well as profit-driven.